I asked, what can, I'm not just gonna say white people, but like white people predominantly, what can we do?
It's what I said, advocacy. It's
But I
like
mean, yeah, advocacy. So
within
uh,
your circle of
I
influence,
was gonna say, yeah,
you need to let it be known that you think so. It's like, because then the thing is that starts conversation. So if you
yeah,
say something like Black Lives Matter, to certain people that aggravates them a lot,
mm.
so they're gonna come under your
All lives
comment.
matter, Karen.
Yeah, and then you start that dialogue, and I think that's the real way that people can contribute. Like, I understand, like as you mentioned, you've done petitions and stuff. I understand
Donations.
even donations, but I think the real change comes from these conversations, like the conversations you have with the people around you, especially if you are a white person advocating. You know, I think it's much more powerful than, it's easy for me as a black guy to be like, oh, being black is so hard or whatever it is, and someone should just roll their eyes and move on. But if a white person says that to another white person, right? Especially if they, especially let's say if you're not a particularly, say, quote unquote privileged white guy, but you're still able to be like, well, I think they, in this dimension of my life, it's like, because that's the thing, being white is like, it's, or the whole concept of, say, white privilege comes from the idea that your skin color has never been an impedance, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that your whole life is better, because I think it's fair to say that there's some Africans that I know who are better off than some white people I knew, say, at Workshop, who are stuck in Workshop, right? But the difference is, in many situations, say in dealing with law enforcement, they will not necessarily be judged or be treated differently based on their skin. And that's usually what that's talking about. And so I think in terms of advocacy, it's like if people are able to say that as a white person, especially if you're a white person who is not necessarily super privileged, and and especially if you're a white person who is privileged, it's like it's a significant thing to say, because it puts perspective on it, and it puts like a different voice on it that would otherwise be ignored, because it just kind of seems like it's scapegoating or complaining about or blaming something else as opposed to like your own. Because that's the thing. Because that's the thing I say about me. It's like, as a person, I'm very meritocratic. The way I view the world is like, you earn what you get. It's like, and I think that's why I've never really wanted to dwell in thinking at any point like, oh, because I'm black, I didn't get that. And the thing is, I'm always aware that that could be true, but it's like, okay, I'm gonna work 10 times harder. When I applied to Cambridge and I had the interviews, I had to, like, I bought fake glasses, because I'm like, I
Yeah.
understand that there's gonna be some level of implicit bias here, that when they see me, they don't necessarily see, um, like, I don't fit in, because maybe they've seen many candidates and it's like, oh, these have worked out before. And it's like, when you have such a low percentage of black people, it might be easy to see a black person just be like, so it's like, I didn't like that, I have to do that, but in terms of how I'm like, it's like, I'm just gonna do it, you know. But being meritocratic, um I don't like the idea of having to blame my race, but the thing is that it's very real and it happens. Yeah.
Just being more proactive. You can be, like, I mean, from my perspective, being more proactive and cutting out, like, like you said, within your like circles of
Yeah,
influence.
circle of influence.
Yeah, and potentially reach to other circles. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, but I think there's yeah, because that's the thing, because black people, I feel like, have been talking about this for so long, and it's like, even I sometimes, I look at some people who are constantly talking about race, and sometimes I'm like, man, just, it's so exhausting, because it's like, I get it, but it's like, why we keep talking about it, why do we keep talking about it? But this moment in time, it's like, for the first time, it's like, I want to confront these issues, and I think it's important to confront these issues. And it's like, now more than ever, people are more open to hear about these issues, from businesses to, people. And so I think now's the time to like advocate